Good afternoon again. Thank you for being here this afternoon in the struggle for education of each of our children in the community. I'm Hilda Rivera, and I'm a PACT parent leader in Rocket Ship Si Se Puede School. My children and I are very proud of pertaining to that school. Christine and I will be chairing this meeting.
Thank you. And I'm Christine Ngo, a PACT parent leader and a proud parent of Kaylin Ngo at Rocket Ship Los Sueños. Welcome and thank you everyone for being here in our struggle for an excellent education for every single child in our community. Before we share the purpose of this next hour, we want to first invite a very important member of our charter school community to the podium, David Herrera, Principal of Downtown College Prep, Alum Rock. David.
Thank you, everybody. It's really an honor to be here welcoming you. My name is David Herrera. I'm the founding principal of Downtown College Prep, Alum Rock, a new 6th through 12th grade school that just opened down the street last year. I'm also proud to report we're one of the highest scoring new middle schools, charter schools in the state of California. But anyway, the reason I've been asked to be here is that Downtown College Prep, about 12 years ago, was founded as the first charter high school in Santa Clara County. And at the time, we wanted to be a proof point that students, all students, no matter what their previous educational background had been, had the opportunity, the right, and the ability to prepare themselves for success in college. And as it stands now, we are among the top schools in this city sending our graduates on to post-secondary education. And we're proud to be a part of the movement that says that that's possible. I'd like to thank and welcome the members of the San Jose Charter Schools Consortium, of which DCP is a member, and the California Charter Schools Association. The association and the consortium are excited to partner with PACT in this event. I also want to recognize Jed Wallace, CEO of the California Charter Schools Association, who I know is enthusiastic about being here today and works to support charters like DCP. You know, 20 years ago is when the Charter Schools Act started. We're 20 years into this movement. And the movement was not just about charter schools. It was about how do we support schools in general to be places of excellence. And the Alum Rock School District, for example, brought several more schools across the 800 line and API line. They're to be congratulated. They are to be celebrated. And part of what makes that happen is that we have a mixture of schools to offer choices and options for parents and students where we can learn from the best practices and see achievement rise for all students. That's why we need to continue to support the charter movement, because it's not just about charter schools. It's about all schools and creating places for innovation and choice that can affect the broader system. I would like to just mention one quick student who gave a tour today. Her name's Evelyn. Evelyn came to DCP, a high-flying student, very capable, but also faced some challenges in her life that would cripple most functioning adults. She found a place where she doesn't have her own father in her life, but she now has a staff member who, when we had a Father's and Mother's Day breakfast last year, she invited one of our staff members, Edwin Moreno, to honor him as her father, as the closest thing she has to a father in her life. She went up a level and went from proficient to advanced in language arts and math last year and is now zooming through algebra curriculum. And it is the flexibility and the autonomy that charter schools have to create spaces of innovation, family-style learning, where young women like Evelyn, who is a future leader, can thrive. So I want to thank you for your support of creating schools like that and options for parents, and welcome you to this event. Thank you.
In 2000, PACT started to work to create the first parent movement to get excellent schools. We've been working for several years to create a movement with a diversity of people and with elected officials to close the achievement gap, create new schools, and have a new direction. We supported dramatic changes. We started a charter school movement, and we demonstrated that each child can really be successful at a high level. This afternoon, we're continuing with this work, and we're not going to give up until each child in these schools, in these public schools, has a high-quality education. Our community has the ingredients to make schools, to make incredible schools.
We come together to continue our plan to grow what's working and to create districts and system of education that prepare every single child for a bright future. As the Constitution says, every child is entitled to receive a quality and equal education. Before we go any further into our agenda, we are very excited to have the Mayor of San Jose as one of our key speakers. He, along with Santa Clara Board of Education, started the SJ 2020 initiative to close the achievement gap by 2020. At this time, please help me welcome Mayor Chuck Reed to the stage.
Thank you. Welcome. Bienvenidos a todos. A few years ago, we started the SJ 2020 effort. It was launched with then Superintendent of County Education, Chuck Weiss, and I, to begin a collaboration for the entire community to focus on eliminating the achievement gap. Because we decided that as a community, we did not have to stand for this achievement gap. We did not have to accept the achievement gap. And we could not accept the fact that 60% of our Latino kids and 60% of African American kids were performing not at grade level. And bringing all these people together in a collaboration, of course, is a big effort. But we now have hundreds of organizations, including PACT, charter schools, and others, that are working in SJ 2020 to close the achievement gap. So we've gotten it organized, we're focusing our efforts, we're trying to figure out what works and then how to expand it to other areas. A couple of things that I've learned in this process. First, we have traditional public schools that know how to close the achievement gap. They've demonstrated it, and it's a great success in some schools. And we have charter schools that know how to close the achievement gap. They've demonstrated it, and it's been a great success. But what I also know is that it seems to be a lot easier to replicate the charter school experience than it is the experience in the traditional public schools. And while we need to support all of the schools, the charter schools play a particularly important role, I think, in continuing to build the opportunities for all of our kids to have great schools. And we will reach that goal with charter schools and with the traditional public schools as we learn from each other. But we do not accept the fact that some of our kids are not going to achieve at grade level. We don't have to accept that, we haven't, and this community-wide collaboration is focused on solving that. But it gets solved by the collaboration of groups like PACT. And I want to thank PACT for their engagement in the SJ 2020 and their focus on charter schools, because it's very clear that we have some fantastic charter schools. They've had great success in some very difficult conditions, some very difficult neighborhoods, and we can be proud of their accomplishments, while we also support the traditional public schools, because we have many great accomplishments there as well. So I want to thank PACT, and I want to thank you for your research work and the things that you've done, because I know you have labored mightily to ensure that kids have a great education, and that's important to all of us. So even though the city of San Jose doesn't have authority or responsibility for the schools, these are our children that are in the schools. They belong to all of us, and we're all going to work together to make sure that they all have great schools. So thank you, PACT, and thank you all for coming today.
Thank you, Mayor of San Jose, Chuck Reed, for sharing with us. Now we want to thank the rest of the elected officials that are here this afternoon. First, Superintendent of the Board of Education in Santa Clara, Xavier de la Torre. Later in the agenda, Superintendent de la Torre will speak.
I will now announce the rest of the elected officials. Please hold your applause until all the names are announced. Vice Mayor Madison Nguyen, Council Member Sam Liccardo, County Office of Education Board Trustee Grace Marr, Alum Rock Board Trustee Frank Chavez and Darcy Greens, and Andres Quintero. Eastside Union High School Board Trustee Frank Bill and Van Lê. Franklin McKinley Board Trustee Bửu Thái and the Honorable Zoe Lofgren. We also have many officials who could not be here with us today, but send their representatives or pledge their support. State Senator Elaine Alquist, San Jose City Council Member Xavier Campos, Ask Clara, and Don Rocha, County Office of Education Trustee Julia Hoover-Smoot.
We know that you have a very full agenda where you make very important decisions, and therefore we want to respect your time and courtesy of being here with us.
Finally, we want to extend a huge thank you to the various charter school leaders, educators, teachers, business leaders, funders, PACT parent, and community leaders who are here this afternoon. Please give everyone a round of applause.
At this time, we'd like to give our credential. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ananava, and I'm a parent leader with PACT. I represent Rocketship Sisapwede School and KIPP Academy. Some of you went to visit our school. We are a parent organization with different creeds and religions working together for a common goal to improve the education in our community, promote a democratic election process, and hoping.
We are 28 congregation of faith, and many schools representing more than 55,000 people. We created a solution to the problem that are more urgent in our community. Improving public safety, ensuring that our seniors have accessible, affordable transportation and needed public service. Holding the big banks accountable, closing the achievement gap, and reducing the dropout rate. For more than 25 years, we have been winning victories and changes in our neighborhood. For more than 20 years, we have been winning victories and changes in our neighborhoods, like homework center, young centers, excellent schools, health insurance for everybody, for every child in Santa Clara County, and many, many more.
We are a group of reformist parents that want a good future for our children and for our young people so that they can have access to excellent public schools to prepare them to be successful in college and in their lives. We also want that the school officials take part by giving them resources and to support the education reform. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. For the next few minutes, please direct your attention to PACT parent leader Maria Teresa Bostonis, who will share with us some important ideas and statistics about the SJ 2020. That will help us all understand a little more about why we are here. Maria Teresa.
Hello, my name is Maria Teresa Barza. I'm parent PACT leader. I have a daughter in Rocketship Sisapwede, one in KIPP Kerwood Academy, and one in KIPP. The San Jose 2020 mission and vision is to close the achievement gap that exists between the different groups in our city and our county. Also, to ensure that our children are proficient or advanced for that same year. The initiative San Jose 2020 started in October 2010 with a lot of support from different districts and several officials that are here present. San Jose 2020 uses 14 different focus points to measure the educational process and to see if we are reaching the goals. For example, English and math for third, fifth, and eighth grade. In the last 2 years, in general, there was progress, but it was minimal. And the report that's called SJ 2020, Annual Report 2020, we need to accelerate our progress if we want to reach our goal. You can see an example of the minimal progress in this graph. In the last 5 years, the educational gap for the students of third grade in reading went down only 4%. And the different ethnic groups, all of the results are low. The Asians only have 79% of proficiency, and the Latinos 35%. As you can see, we have a long way to go to get to our goal. We are conscious that there is an educational crisis in all of the school districts, and that crisis contributes to other problems. We, as parents, have concerns about
only 37% way less than half of Latino eighth graders in Franklin-McKinley school districts are proficient or advanced in English language arts. Only 42% in San Jose Unified. In the 2010 to 2011 school year, East Side Union High School District had 1,500 high school students drop out. 1,166 of those students were Latino and African American. There have been 36 homicides so far this year. About half of them are gang-related, and 7 of them are young people aged 18 and younger. CCSA reports that for charter public school in San Jose, there are more than 4,000 families on waiting list. Miren esta gráfica.
Look at this graph. What you see is surprising. This big white bar are the results of the Latino students in rocket ship. The next bar, the yellow one, is the Campbell schools, and the small one is all of the Latino students in San Jose Unified. The rocket ship kids are way ahead. More wonderful results in this graph. You can see the results of the Latino students in the middle school, Kip Kerwood Academy, compared with the results of white students in Cupertino, one of the highest achieving districts in the state, and students of Franklin McKinley represented by the small green bars. You can look at the second group of those bars, which shows that the KIPP students are outdistancing the Cupertino students. We know what is possible in a great school that motivates and teaches our students to give 100% and has the expectations that all of the students will be at their grade level and more.
Thankfully, we know what works to achieve the goals of SJ 2020, schools that are truly students and relationship-centered, longer school days, parent development and empowerment, high expectation for all students and teachers, individualized learning plans, hyper-focus on data, flexibility and autonomy, and college-going focus and curriculum. We are desperate for a school that educates all our children equally well. Here in Alum Rock, we already have some successful schools models. As we have been saying, we want to see those models replicated.
It's time now, and we can't wait anymore. We want to be proud that we have school leaders and representatives that are active, decisive, and persevering, that ask important questions, strong questions, and place our kids first.
About SJ 2020, while there are some bright spots, We are not on the path to closing the achievement gap by 2020. There are a few handfuls of schools that do it, and many of them are charters. We are going to need a much more serious effort if we are going to give our children a real chance.
Thank you, Maria Teresa, for her report. Statistics are very important, but we don't know a lot of the problems and the situations that the families have in their own experience. We would like to present a parent PACT leader, a teacher from Rocket Ship, and a student from Alpha Medical School. They're going to talk about their experiences with education. We'll start with Carrie.
Hi, my name is Carrie Greco. I am a PACT parent leader at Rocket Ship Los Sueños and Si Se Puede. I am also a proud parent of two spirited boys, both who have been diagnosed with ADHD and ODD. My oldest started his education at a traditional public school, which I felt wasn't working for us. They couldn't seem to figure out a plan that would help him succeed. Their plan was to put him in the back of the class with a partition around him to cut out any stimulation. This only isolated him from the rest of the class. I decided to look for other options and found Rocket Ship. He started second grade at Rocket Ship Los Sueños without knowing the entire alphabet, and ended third grade reading chapter books. I was so excited and I was so very proud. There is still much work to be done. I was driving by a district elementary school the other day and smiled to myself as I watched the students run around, chasing each other and playing different games in a wide open area and field. I came to the realization that even though my children are now getting a great education, that they don't get the space to run around and get their jiggles out. I became very angry and then very sad because we have to constantly struggle for facilities that are barely big enough to hold all of our students. Or we have to share campuses with other schools or churches. Then comes the next step in my children's lives, middle school. The options for middle schools are terrifyingly limited. What I am learning is that we can have choices, that we don't have to settle. As PACT parent leaders, we have battled for years to have these options. We've had to fight for facilities, money, and against incorrect information about the schools that we choose. But I am going to keep pushing forward, and I'm going to do everything in my power until all children have a space at an excellent school. By creating San Jose 2020, our elected officials have proclaimed to do whatever it takes until 100% of our children are proficient or advanced. I'm asking for follow-through. I'm restating my commitment, and I hope everyone else is willing to do whatever it takes also. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Carrie. Now, Ms. Menendez.
Good afternoon, buenas tardes. So I was asked to speak just a little bit about my experience at Rocket Ship and just my experience myself growing up. So I'm going to try not to read. My name is Kimberly Menendez, and I'm a second grade math science teacher at Rocket Ship Los Sueños. But for the last 2 years before that, I taught kindergarten literacy. So it's kind of cool because I get to have my kindergartners this year again. I'm originally from Watts, which is in Los Angeles, and it's considered one of the worst neighborhoods in Los Angeles. But I'd say it's gotten a lot better since I was a child. I lived there my whole life. I went to schools there my whole life. I went to kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school there, all schools that were below 600 API score. But even so, I definitely had teachers who inspired me to, do more, and also inspired me to be that person for other students. So after I graduated from high school, I went to Pomona College, go Sagens, and it was a culture shock because I was so used to going to school with just Latino and Black students, and then I went to college and I just saw a lot of white faces. And so it took a little while to get used to, but it also taught me a lot about who was going to college and how they were getting there. So during my senior year of college, I applied to Teach for America. And once I was accepted, I chose to work in the Bay Area. And I got a call from Kristen Burt, who was the founding principal at Rocketship Los Sueños. And she told me that I had been granted an interview to work at the school. So I took the interview, and about a week later, I got the job. And it was a difficult decision just because I had to move away from LA and leave my family and move here. But at the same time, the idea of, because Rocketship, it would have been the first year of Rocketship Los Sueños, so the idea of starting this new school and like seeing it from day one and seeing it grow, it like definitely convinced me, so I came here. And so now this is my third year at Rocketship, and Rocketship Los Sueños is, and I think Rocketship in general, is just an amazing place to work and to be. The support that I get from parents and from staff is just incredible. Parents are always around. They're always willing to do everything that they can to help, whether it's, can I come into your classroom? Can I just be around the school? Can I take things home? Like, it's incredible. In terms of the support that I get, we have a principal, our assistant principal, and our dean, and my academic coach is my dean. My dean is in my class once a week, once every 2 weeks. She's in there observing, seeing what things I can do better, seeing what things I'm doing great, and it always feels like a team effort. It's never like, you are doing this wrong, you need to fix it. It's more of a, these are the things you're doing well, these are the things that you need a little work on, so let's fix it together. In terms of our students get a lot of individualized instruction in small groups, so they are met at their exact academic level, just at exactly what they need. That's exactly what they're getting, and obviously they are our number one priority. Our favorite question at Rocketship is why. So we always ask them, why are you doing this? Why is this important? Why should you know how to do this? And even since kindergarten, they start talking about college. They start to know what's college. And by the time they leave, they're able to tell you what is college, why is it important to go there, and even what college they want to go to, which for my students, it's Pomona College. And why is it important to be respectful, responsible, empathetic, persistent, which are all of our core values. And it's a really, really exciting thing to see. And one of the things that I'm the most excited about is just, I can't wait till the year 2024 when our first class that was at Rocketship, our first kindergarten class, can call me and just tell me all of the amazing colleges that they've gotten accepted to and all of the amazing colleges that they're going to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Menendez. Now we're going to welcome Aaron Toscano.
Good afternoon. My name is Aaron Toscano. I am a current student of Alpha Blancarado Middle School and a former student of Rocketship Si Se Puede. I want to tell you how charter schools have affected my future, of my family, and my life directly. When I started at Rocketship in 3rd grade, I was just an average student in both literacy and math because my old school didn't push me to the limits. When I finished at Rocketship in 5th grade, I was a 9th grade reading level and a 7th grade math level. Rocketship allowed and encouraged my parents to be involved in my education. My parents volunteered over 100 hours last year. Thank you, Mom. Thanks to charter schools, I know I'm going to college. I will have the ability to attend a university. I plan to attend either the University of Santa Barbara or UC Davis because both universities offer an excellent veterinary program, which is the career path I want to follow. I want more children in my community like me to have the same high-quality education I did. And for all students to know college is reality and not dreams. Thanks to charter schools, my parents, and my community, I now know with the education I am receiving, my dreams will be reality. Thank you for attending today, and thank you for being part of the movement that ensures all children will have great schools with hardworking teachers that lead us children on a path filled with opportunities to be successful adults one day. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, Ms. Menendez, and Carrie for your important and powerful stories. At this time, it is our pleasure to welcome Santa Clara County Superintendent of School, De La Torre, who is new to our community and is a leading partner in the SJ 2020 initiative. Superintendent De La Torre.
Good afternoon. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today in this celebration of 20 years of the existence of charter schools in Santa Clara. I'm Xavier de la Torres. I'm the superintendent, the school superintendent of the county of Santa Clara. And I have the responsibility of almost 260,000 students. And I take this very seriously. I have the obligation and the responsibility of ensuring that these students have an opportunity to receive an educational experience that's first-rate. And in many cases in this county, this happens. If you read the newspaper today, you can see that as a county, we have the fame, we have the reputation in the state of serving our students very well. But the reality is that not all of our students are having a good experience in their own schools. Usually, Hispanic students, Afro-American students have not had the same success as other students, and that can't continue. We have to work as a community to find ways to help these families and their children to have the same success level. To do that, there are things that, of course, the charter schools offer that really it's more difficult for our public schools or our school districts to offer. Longer days, longer years, Saturday programs, parent programs to help parents who want to help their kids, to help the parents, show the parents how to help the kids through the public school system in this country, how to use computers so that the students that are of another age than we are will be interested. And I think that the charter schools have demonstrated that in many cases they offer that. And that's why they've had the success they've had. I want to celebrate that success, but I also want to celebrate that our school districts are having, because also when you read the newspaper today in this county, we have a lot to celebrate, but we want more and more students to have that experience. It's important for all of the students to have a good experience in school. That's the reason I came from Texas, to see if I can, in some way or another, demonstrate as a leader and contribute ideas on how to do that. And I think that charter schools with the public schools, it's going to be a good partnership. We need to collaborate and share the good ideas so that all of us can have the benefit of a top education. I thank you again for giving me the honor of speaking to you. I've been told that I'm the first Hispanic superintendent of the County of Santa Clara, which means we're going in a good direction. I want all of you to be proud of who you are and who we are in our community. And our children, I have 5, I want our children to have the same opportunities that I've had. I want everybody to have a good quality of life, but more importantly, that the children should have a better quality of life, and their children should continue succeeding. That's why I came, and that's why we're going to make this effort. Do you want to hear it in English? I don't know. I can't tell you how many soap operas I had to watch to give this presentation. Before watching soap operas, I almost didn't speak Spanish, but now, and people are so pretty. It wasn't hard.
Good afternoon. My name is Xavier de la Torre. I'm the County Superintendent of Schools, and by law, I am responsible for all 260,000 students in Santa Clara County, either directly or indirectly, and in most cases indirectly, because I have the support of 31 district superintendents who serve the majority of our students, and I've entered into, I believe, good relationships and strong partnerships with our charter community as well, because I recognize that in cases where students continue to underperform, students in particular from those populations who have historically not had a good experience in school, that charter schools are needed, that they bring to the table benefits, strategies that may not be readily available in our local public school districts. And it's not an indictment of the public school system. It simply means that public schools right now, at least right now, aren't getting the resources that they need to do some of the same things that some of charter schools can do. What I mean by that is longer school days, after-school programs, parent education classes, classes to help parents understand the public school system, Saturday support, longer school years, and in many, many cases, the use of technology to leverage learning, because students today are engaged and interested by technology. And because of that, and because of those strategies, our charter schools are being highly successful. If one reads the paper today, we have a lot to be proud of in Santa Clara County. Some of the best schools and school districts in the state of California are right here. And the only thing I ask, and the reason that I came from Texas to assume this role, is because I want that for every student in every school district in the county, not for a select few, not for some that live in one particular zip code and not another. I want that for all of them. And I think that the charter school movement and charter schools are our partner in doing that and in helping, both as a county and as a school district. So, thrilled to be here. Honored to be the county superintendent in Santa Clara, and fully vested and committed to this course of action that we've taken. Thank you very much and have a terrific afternoon.
Thank you, Superintendent Delorto. We will now ask our one important question of commitment to all of our elected officials who are here today. This official received our question in advance of the meeting, so there are no surprises. We ask that you each answer yes or no to the question, and you will each have 45 seconds to briefly expand your answer if you so choose. PACT Parent Leader Marcela Toscano will ask this question. We will begin with Council Member Ricardo, followed by County Eastside Union Trustee Frank Bill and Van Lê Franklin McKinley Trustee and Congresswoman Zoe Laughlin. If you will all please stand up and line up here.
Marcela Toscano. I'm a proud parent at Alpha Blanca Alvarado Middle School. Our question to you is, will you continue to work with PACT parent and congregation leaders and leaders within the charter and district communities to advance the goals of SJ 2020 and commit to doing your part to close the achievement gap in our communities?
Yes.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Gracias por invitarme. Agradezco participar en esta celebración muy importante. I wanted to let you know I will continue to be a strong supporter of charters as I was when we opened the first rocket ship in my district a few years ago and found a great site for them. We know finding sites is incredibly difficult, and that's a role where the city can help. And I intend to make a push. We have just had the approval from the Santa Clara County Cities Association, which I chair this year, of an important resolution that we're going to try to get every city in the county to sign on to make it a priority to make space for innovative schools. Because what we're seeing, thank you. Because all the great work that's being done by Downtown College Prep and ACE and KIP and Rocket Ship should not be unique. This should be what we see throughout. And I will also make the pitch for any of you who are interested in getting involved in tutoring. I'll be passing out these in the back. This is 1,000 Hearts for 1,000 Minds initiative we're trying to launch. We've got hundreds of folks who are engaged in tutoring kids one-on-one through over a dozen nonprofit organizations. I hope you'll join us.
Thank you. Trustee Frank Bill.
Thank you. Of course I'll work with PAC. The two biggest issues that face us in education are apathy and cynicism. Those that are apathetic have given up and just don't care. Perhaps their students have already gone through school. Those that are cynical live in a negative world that will never bring about any change. You will never see any of those two aspects in PAC. You are a group of people who care, who are active and go out and try to make a difference, and you are making a difference every day. So I stand here today committed to support all of our students in all of our schools, our foster students, our developmentally disabled students, our students that don't have parents that are as active as you are. It is our obligation to make sure that each and every student of every ethnicity has the opportunity to reach their highest potential. And that is my commitment to you here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Frank Bill. Now, Trustee Van Lê.
Hello, everyone. Well, this is the first time I attend this forum, and thank you for all the organizer. This is my second year, and every time that I make a decision on charter school, I visit this charter school and understand what is behind this charter school. When we make a decision, we're going to make it right for our student, for the community. And I have been visit ACE and Summit School, and I know that this group that has been chose, to come into this, the school are the need of the community. They deserve it because it's a small classroom will help that group of students to achieve the goal. And I know that as a board trustee, we want achievement gap. We really want our students to achieve a better level, better education for our students. So my commitment is every time that I make a decision for the charter school, I want to understand, I want to support, and I want the best for our students, for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee.
Well, I'm batting cleanup here. Yes, the answer is yes, of course. I will continue to help. As you know, I don't get a vote on a school board or a city council, but I have been willing to reach out and stand up for the charter school movement. I'm for public schools, and that includes charter schools and traditional schools that work. The point is, what is happening for students? That should be the entire focus. It's about accountability and achievement, and that's what this 2020 plan is about. You know, we can't afford, as a nation, to write off kids because they're poor, or because English isn't their first language, or because their parents don't have a college education. Not only is it important for the families and for the kids to be achievers, our country needs those kids to be achievers. So not only will I continue my support here locally, but I will continue the fight in Washington to make sure that the funding is there without regard to structure, just for achievement. Thank you so much for all that you do. You make a difference and you make me proud. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Madison Nguyen, Alum Rock Board Trustee Darcy Green, and County Board Member Grace Moore were here but had to leave. They asked that we share with you that they are supportive, and their answer is yes to this question. Thank you to Trustee Green and Moore and Vice Mayor Nguyen.
Finally, it's important for you to get involved in this effort. We know that the changes don't happen from one day to the next. For children in our community, they are being killed in the streets. That this afternoon, we have advanced more toward our goal and have served our kids. We don't want to waste more time to take the next steps to make the commitments of this afternoon a reality. This is our mission. Please come to our next parent meeting that is going to be on November 27th at 6:30 in the afternoon in San Jose Community Center. And remember that in all of our meetings we have childcare.
On behalf of PACT, the San Jose Charter School Consortium, the California Charter School Association, and our host, the School of Arts and Culture at Mexican Heritage Plaza, we thank you. This event today has clearly demonstrated that we are united in our commitment to close the achievement gap and meet the goal of SJ 2020. Thank you again to our elected officials and everyone for coming. Have a wonderful afternoon. Please return to translation equipment before you leave. Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the charter school movement. For 20 years, we've been reinventing California education, year in, year out, school by school, student by student, class by class, together.